going on, guys? So we have Subterror versus Meta. So I go ahead and Ash him. And he's going to do some danger plays, of course. Special summon and draw, blah, blah, blah. Inch on Colossus. Not really that big of a deal. Got the Extravagance. Can't really search, though, which kind of hurts me. But I have the Manhunt, which I just immediately activate. So I can prevent him from being able to search. And he just scoops at that point. We got this guy right here running a rocket deck. Go ahead and hit him with Ash. He was like, he told me that he like baited it out and was kind of laughing. And he started doing these plays and it's like, okay, fair enough. But I still think that it was a pretty good card to Ash. So he's going to just go off of all the special summoning, of course. Saruja. More special summoning. More special summoning. Goes into that, does that. The only problem with the cards that he's playing, though, is that they're pretty much all dragons. And I have, there can be only one in my hand. And I kind of like hit the Ash like a little prematurely because I had two of them in my hand. So I'd rather like activate that and at least get some value out of it, as opposed to like just holding it off and potentially not getting anything out of it at all. So that was another reason for me doing that. But I still think it's a relatively good play either way. So I just set all my cards. And he just bounces that back to his hand. Activates that effect. Special summon from deck. There can be only one. He can't do anything. Battle phase attack. I steal it. And he got pretty mad and just quit. Can't really blame him. Now we have heroes. So he hits me with Ash, but I decided to call my Grave him because I kind of want this search. But he has the impermanence also. And the build that I'm playing is pretty much very similar to Jason's build that he used at the PPG. And I made a video on it previously. I'll also go over the deck profile at the end of this video. So he's going to get a search right there. You got the Stratos. You got the Ferris. Go ahead and Ghost over that, which is a pretty good play. Goes to that guy right there. Hit him with the Strike. He can't really do anything. Normal summon, attack, attack. Go ahead and flip them face down so I can get that to get the search. He activates that, and I just go ahead and kind of shotgun the negate because I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be able to do anything else. But I kind of forgot about the malicious, and I forgot about the guy in the spell and trap zone, so he kind of goes off a bit. And I forgot about gold being able to search something like that. So he goes into that, but I can still negate it because Hidden City. He attacks like that, I get a special summon. Activates his effect, I go ahead and book a Moonhelm. So nothing happens. Activate his effect, put him in face down defense, get me a search, flip him up, banish the Bane, Hidden City, and he just scoops. Now we have game 2. He immediately fusions into that guy right there. Gets all these special summons off. Shadow Mist. Go into the cross guy. Yeah, you're doing all these hero plays. And he's going to bring out Plasma so I can get my monster effects off. So Extravagance. He has nothing. I get to draw 2. Set 5 cards and pass. Activates that effect right there. I go ahead and strike it. He has the Malicious. Go ahead and flip. There can be only one. He has Honest Neos trying to blow that up. I'll go ahead and impermanence it. It may have been a better play to call by the Grave it, but, you know, I guess I'm okay with it. So I get that effect to special summon. He decides not to attack. So I flip that up. Effect. Banish the Bane. He has the impermanence. I go ahead and chain that to negate it. Just in turn. It's kind of funny because I didn't know Bane was like a fiend. So when I flipped there can be only one, I was like, it's over. And then, like, I was like, wow, that's interesting. I thought he'd be a warrior also. And just set another card. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. And getting off, like, the hand trap like that is pretty strong. The Fiendus. It's just such a funny play. It's something that rarely ever comes up. But it's like, in this situation right here, it's really doing me solid. Especially if there can be only one on the field. and a Ghost Ogre in hand, like this guy just can't really do anything. And so that's game. Got the Extravagance. Got the Terraforming. Got the Hidden City. And this deck right here is Marincess Frogs. So, like, I wasn't 100% sure if you could really consider this meta or not. But it's like it kind of is, kind of isn't. So I went ahead and kind of shotgunned that right there. Because I was hoping it was like Paleo Frogs and you wouldn't be able to like make totally awesome. Then you start going off the Marincess engine. I was like, oh, so it's Marincess Frogs. Okay. So he has the Spot Frog and everything. I go ahead and Ash it because I'm trying my best to pretty much stop the totally awesome. But he's still able to make it. Battle phase attack. And it's like no one really knows what Hidden City does. He tries to negate it. I just negate it with Fiendus. So he gets that effect off. Dynamiscus takes out the field spell, which is kind of a bad play. Flips third can be only one, gets the Paleo Chain. I probably shouldn't have done Extravagance first, but it's whatever. So battle phase, and he just ends turn. We have game 2 right here. What's the funny thing about the Marincess is that they are all Cybers. So if you have Diplex or Chimera in your extra deck and you have Super Poly, you can kind of mess them up that way. And then you also get like Mud Dragon. So if they make like Toad plus that, you can literally take care of them with that. And I have the Super Poly. And he brought a Abyss Dweller, which I don't really know why. It doesn't do anything against me. But I have Called by the Grave. Go ahead and get rid of that monster right there. Battle phase attack. And Mud Dragon's pretty good because it can't be targeted by card effects. And yeah, he has a Crackdown set. So we're going to just keep banishing cards with Extravagance, get our draws, get our search. Set, flip summon effect, activate that. We have the Fiendus to negate, and he just scoops. Now we have a Pendulum player. They're going to just do their Pendulum plays, of course. Electromite, and of course, we have the Impermanence for the Electromite. And you can't really do anything else. So we do Terraforming. I do that to kind of like beta on Ash, usually. Then we have the Hidden City, and then we got the Search. Then we got the Duality. Set 2 and pass. And I decided to add Ogre so I can pretty much stop him from using Servant. And I have like the Manhunt, so I'll just go ahead and steal his Electromite because I don't want him to get all of his effects off. Go ahead and Ogre that. So just going to go ahead and pin summon. But I have the Judgment. Normal summons that. Don't really care. He just suicides. Not a big deal. He does that, and he told me that was like a misclick on his part because I was kind of wondering why he did it because it's a bad play. And he just scooped. Now we have game 2. And he has that red reboot in his hand, which is always spicy. And I kind of was just holding on to the Typhoon in case he had something like a Servant. And Typhoon's a pretty funny card. I've been putting it in my side deck lately because it just messes up True Dracos. And that's just a pretty good thing to mess up. Like, True Dracos are, you know, a card. It's like a deck that's pretty hard to beat sometimes, especially if you're running kind of like a rogue deck. Kind of like Gurus. And I kind of misplayed there. I should have just like done Hidden City or whatever, or just boosted his attack so they can't beat over him. But I got a little greedy and decided to like Book of Moon also, which did nothing. Goes in Electromite effect. I go ahead and Manhunt him. He has the red reboot though. And at this point, you know, it's like, okay, this isn't really a good position for me. So he just starts going off. He gets all his pin summons. And, well, that's enough damage to do game, and I don't have any traps. So, Hidden City, set, flip, effect, set cards, in turn. Spell power, okay, cool. Indie Mine, cool. Cosmic Cyclone. Hits the field spell, not really that great of a choice, but okay. Then we got the Extravagance. Draw 2. Flip summon, effect. Normal summon, battle phase, attack. So feeling pretty good right now. Got a lot of back row. Can basically Book of Moon him. Got to negate everything Fiendus. So in a good position. And now he has a red reboot. So we'll see what happens. So he's going to go ahead and special summon. I'll go ahead and let it go through. Go ahead and final battle so he can't negate my shit. And then he red reboots me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just set a Judgment. He does that guy right there. Does that. He activates that effect, and I always forget about his Pendulum effect, so I didn't even try to negate it with Fiendus. I kind of just let it go off. And then I ended up negating the Electromite, though. So yeah, he was able to pop like 3 cards for free pretty much. He goes into Borolo Dragon, steals my monster, okay, cool. Attacks me, but it's not lethal, so I don't really care that much. Set him, flip him up, and he negates it. And then I forget you can't target him, so I end up negating the Borolo, so it doesn't really do anything. And he's going to go ahead and do some plays. But I have the strike, so I'm able to punish him hard. He does that right there. I flip. There can be only one, so he has to get rid of the other monster. And then activates his effect to steal my monster. Hit him with the other strike. Flip summon. And I just attack. Didn't even bother to search. So here's the deck profile, guys. We run one of these guys right here, the Umastrix. And he's actually really good. And you only run him at 1. Then we have 3 Guru, who's like the main guy. And then you have the Nemesis Archer, who is also really good. And then you have the 3 Ash Blossoms. You got the 2 Ogres. I really like Ogre. Like, no one runs it anymore, but Ogre is still yet pretty good in my opinion. It's better in, I think, a deck like this because it's really a control deck, and you actually have room to fit Ogre in it. Like other decks, I think it's just fine if they don't have Ogre or if they side it. And then you have Fiendus. Oh my god, just like a negate everything hand trap is just really nice to have. Then we have the 3 Extravagance, the card that makes this deck not budget pretty much, along with Impermanence. And then we have Terraforming for, the 4th Hidden City. We run 2 Duality. The 3rd one, it might get a little clunky. And then we have 2 Called by the Grave. I really like Called by the Grave at 2 in here because, you have Extravagance plus Duality plus Terraforming. You hit their, like, Ash Blossom or whatever with the Called by the Grave, and it's like you're just able to pop off. The Hidden City is such a great card, like some decks that just don't really have much support, like they really need like a good field spell like this. Like you could just search any Subterror monster and then it protects you during the battle phase if you have a set Subterror and you can flip it up. And no one like reads the entire effect, so they don't actually know that it does that until they attack into you, and then you just negate their attack and then you get a search off Guru. It's so fun. Then you got the 3 Impermanence, another hand trap. Then you got 2 Final Battle. Then you got 3, there can be only 1. And there's so many matchups to where you just flip this card right here and you just win the game. Then you have Crackdown, and we have additional Crackdown targets in the extra deck, which is Dengirsu and the Hayate. So Crackdown is just like a really fun card because you steal their monster and you can just plus off of that. And you can also steal like their Galatea and then just go into Ding during your turn. Then we have the 3 Strikes and the 3 Judgments, and you saw how much work Solemn Strike did against the Pendulum player and how much work these cards do in general. Then we get the extra deck, which is mostly super poly targets. So we got the Predaplant, that's 3 dark monsters. Then we have the 2 Violet Chimera, which is basically to shut down Salamangrates. And Salamangrates is actually pretty hard to deal with. Like, Salamangrates can just pop off, and then they have to negate everything trap, and then they have the Rage. If you're able to stop their plays and you go first, you can mess them up pretty hard, but like there's just a lot of things that Salads can do. Then we have 2 Venom Fusions. Then we have 2 the Dracostilapia for the Thunder Dragons. We got the Diplexer Chimera. Then we have 2 Mud Dragons. We have 2 Ultimate Falcons because of Awaken the Dragon. We got the Ding, which is also good to Awaken the Dragon. Nightmare Phoenix, Hayate. Then we have 2 Heavy Storm Dusters, 2 Struggling Battle, 2 Typhoons. And I really kind of just took doubling up on things. And I actually really like the ratio right here. And then we have 3 Awaken the Dragons. This is like mainly for like if you have trouble against like True Dracos or something and just people who are going to run a lot of back row removal. So you just drop an Ultimate Falcon on them or drop like a Ding on them and remove one of their cards. Then 3 Super Poly to just really punish decks. And then we have the 3 Prankotrops. And overall, this is basically very similar to Jason's deck. Like very, very similar to it. I think the main deck might be exactly the same. But like this is just a really fun deck and it's pretty consistent. Yeah, but otherwise, that's it for the deck profile.